Welcome back, everyone. And I know many of us have maybe had our football seasons come to an end for the 2024 season, or some of us are in the middle of playoffs. I'm going to produce some videos in the off season, and I'm going to focus on maybe a specific player situation or mechanic or rule. I won't go in depth at as many plays. So I want to start it off this week with a false start or encroachment on a play. And so we're going to take a look at a couple of plays here and talk about the difference between a false start and the encroachment. And so, first of all, we're going to start off by looking at two plays from the one will be the end zone view, one will be the sideline view, and then you make a decision on what we have on these plays. Our first play, here's a sideline view, and we're going to have a flag on this play across the field in the head linesman. So look at the play and decide who would you call this foul on. Do we have a false start or encroachment on this play? And when we look at from the end zone view, this is the same play as play one. You're going to get two views so that you can make a decision of what would you threw the flag, and so what are you going to report as the foul on this play? And now here's the second play on this team. We can see this is the sideline view, and we're going to have a flag on this play and a penalty. And so, again, make the decision. What are you calling if you have a flag on this play? And we have a flag on this play on the field, but what would you call if you were the calling official on this particular play if you saw this happen on the field? And so let's talk about it. So I think it's important we reference some rules here and talk about some rules. So let's talk about Rule 2, Section 8, Article 1, encroachment, the definition. Encroachment occurs when a player is illegally in the neutral zone during the time interval starting at the ready for play and until the ball is snapped. And so our ready for play is when our official, normally our umpire, spots the ball on a scrimmage down. So let's keep that in mind on this play. Now let's take a look at another rule. The second rule that applies to this is Rule 7, Section 1, Articles 5 and 6. Article 5 specifically says no player other than the snapper shall encroach on the neutral zone after the ball is ready for play by touching the ball or an opponent or by being in the neutral zone to give defensive signals. Article 6 states following the ready for play, A, specifically what we're focusing on, any player breaks the plane of the neutral zone. So remember, the ready for play is when our umpire normally spots the ball. That's when the ready for play begins. And so let's take a look at one more rule related to this play. The last rule we're going to look at is Rule 7, Section 1, Articles 7 and 8. Specifically, we're going to focus on Article 7 here, where it says after the ball is ready for play, before the snap begins, no false start shall be made by any A player. Defines it as a false start F, and A shift or feigned charge simulates action at the snap, or B, any act clearly intended to cause B to encroach. Article 8 states if a false start causes B to encroach, only the false start is penalized. So these are the rules that are most applicable to these two plays. So let's come back to the plays and break this down. So we're going to come back to these two plays and we're going to look at them from the end zone view twice back to back. And did you make a decision? Did you make a call for encroachment or a false start? And let's just keep in mind Rule 7, Article 7, which states any act that clearly intended to cause B to encroach. And is this action by the offense here intended to cause B to encroach? And I think by their movement, they're simulating some action at a snap, that the intent is to cause B to encroach as we look at these two plays. And so we've got to be aware of this because remember, the offense knows the snap count or should know the snap count. The defense does not. And so let's say you make the argument, well, they have to look over to the sideline because they're changing the play. So let's take a look at what they do later in the game when that comes up. So there's no doubt there's a lot of judgment involved here by the covering official, the calling official, on whether they judge this to be legal by the offense or defense or not. But how can the offense look to the sideline and not simulate action at the snap? Well, here's a play during this same game that offensive team does it. And notice the difference. Let's take a look at the play. Our end zone view of the same team, and we're going to look this play twice, and we're going to see them look to the sideline to get the play call or the change in the play call. And notice how They do not use that same action that they used earlier in the game. So, as we look at it again, let's now go back to those two plays and see if you can see the difference of how the offensive action is clearly different. So we come back to the two plays we have in question here that I showed you that I would ask you to make a judgment on whether you'd have encroachment or a false start. The decision in this game on the field of the judgment of the officials was encroachment on both plays. My judgment would differ from that based upon what I've seen. Now, again, I've had the opportunity to see this on video, but I would say that this is more likely a false start by the offense as it's designed to cause the defense to encroach on this play. So let's look at these plays again. If we come back to these two plays again, we're going to look at them again from the end zone view because I think it gives us the best view on these two plays. I, in my judgment, think that this action combined with the quarterback flapping his hands together, clapping, and then the offensive's quick movement is a false start designed to get the defense to react, which is clearly supported by Rule 7. And if we even go and reference the case book, it talks about the judgment of the official. And if the design of the offensive movement is designed to cause B to encroach, then it is a false start on the offense. So reference those case plays in the case book also and be prepared for this situation and be ready to officiate it. Thanks everyone for taking the time to watch this video. I hope this information was helpful, leads to discussion, and I hope you get in that rule book and examine this rule more closely, false start versus encroachment on this play. I'd love to hear your comments on this play to see what you think. And also, as I do future videos, if you would like to share particular comments of something you would like to see, some type of rule or mechanics or so forth, I will do my best to try to produce videos regarding that. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great game if you have any games with you. I hope you had a great season this year. And until my next video, take care.